窓乱れて砕け散れる。
All right, what is going on, guys? Pablo's back again, coming at you with the top 10 hard characters of 2021. Not released 2021, just straight up the top 10 hard characters. Now, this was a hard list. I'm not gonna lie, these lists are actually a lot harder to put together than I initially thought, just simply because we've gotten a ton of great units, and coming into 2021, Heart was not really stacked when it comes to SP units. Obviously, the SP units that were released this year are actually really good, from Iba to Ninny to Eisen. There's just no there's just no way we couldn't do like we spent a long time. Let's just get right into it. So first off, in the honorable mentions, we do have Hana. If she gets resurrected, I feel like she could end up getting something like normal attack damage and a bruiser of like 20 to 40%. Something like that could actually help this character immensely if we're actually able to pick up guard break in the near future, which is actually quite possible thanks to what he can just date. Well, but not even what he can date him. What they just announced in the BBS news. That'll be really interesting to see how that stuff lines up. So we'll see exactly how this fares, but if we're able to give guard break to our NAD characters, this character can definitely make a comeback. Next, we also have Chad. Chad is an excellent character, boost heal unit with revive on his special move. Honestly, he's more of a side unit in Guild Quest, as you see with his melee damage plus 30% in Guild Quest, but he does have a bruiser of 75% with the team boost, with the healer. He also has healer and medic, poise, flurry +1, and enhancer. He's just an excellent character, and his only issue really is that he doesn't have a guard break. So if they actually give him guard break, this could definitely tip the scales. He does have the 100% chance to hit dodge Soul Reapers, 100% chance to hit Soul Reaper enemies even if they try to dodge, and weaken immunity. So obviously, like, this character is really good, just not quite there yet in terms of the list. Now, Iba, honestly, Iba's such an excellent character that was released recently. He is a crystal jewel drop with coin drop character, and then on top of that, he does have a berserker of 40%, no status elements, but he has Quincy killer, and he did get guard break. So he does have some stuff going for him. Going into his actual kit, he does have the 2500 length beam, the 800 AoE distant, and the standard full screen third strong attack. So he does have an excellent kit. His only issue is that he doesn't have havoc, and this character also has a bad he also has a bad killer trait, which honestly, I mean, if you're using him as just straight up a farmer, I think that he does an excellent job. He does his job very well. He just could use a little bit extra support, right? Honestly, if this character had any other killer but Quincy or Stern Ritter, I think this character probably would have been fine literally anywhere else. We'll see in the future if Caleb decides to do Quincy's as a guild quest. If that does take place, this character is going to shoot up in value by quite a bit, just because he does have that strong attack recharge as well. Next, we do have on the honorable mentions Rookia. She is a pretty good character. Paralysis on everything, guard break, berserker 20%, havoc 20%, debilitator plus 5 seconds, SAR 14, and Soul Reaper killer. And then next we have Desert Society Rookia, last ditch survival but built-in strong attack recharge, sprinter plus 2, mind link slot potions plus 5, devastation 40%. She does have the charge AoE distant skill 3, which is really strong. Even without havoc, I think this character is actually quite excellent, and she actually did get voted in more than Rookia by about, I think, like 5 to 10%. So it was a very close. Both of them are very good characters either way. Next, on number 10, we have Lisa. Now, Lisa is a really good. She has a 3000 length beam for her first strong attack, a standard full screen third strong attack for her third, and then her second strong attack is a crawling vortex. A lot of people are trying to compare her to Ninny, but realistically speaking, like, Ninny just has so many more things going for her that and in my opinion, it's quite foolish to try to compare the two. They're very similar in terms of how they play, but Ninny has way too much going on for her to just like write her off. Hard attribute Soul Reaper damage to status ailment affected enemies plus 20%. That's just a straight up damage increase when the enemies are inflicted with the status ailment. This is really good for epic raids, really good for any type of boss content as well. Berserker 20%, havoc 20%, mind link slot potions plus 5, debilitator plus 5 seconds, devastation 40%, sprinter plus 1. I believe she has an immunity to freeze. Yeah, and she also has freeze immunity. So overall, really good character. I do wish that she had dual status elements, kind of like Spirit Society Ichigo or Spirits Are Forever With You Yamamoto, just because she does have burn and freeze on her, how do I put it, like with her snakes, right? Like one has fire, one has freeze, but to give Debilitator 5 seconds, usually back when she was released, they weren't really doing Debilitator plus 5 seconds to too many characters with burn. I think the only character before her to have Debilitator plus 5 seconds with burn was actually Tech Yamamoto, and he's the only character, the OG Tech Yamamoto. After that, the next character to get Debilitator plus 5 seconds, I believe, was Redux Soichi, so just keep that in mind. Next on the list, number 9, Senzumaru. I'm surprised she actually got put this high. So Berserker 20%, Havoc 20%, increased status element chance against mind attribute of Ronkars plus 10%. My only issue with this character is that she needs killer in order to actually proc off her lacerate, but if she has that, she is so good. Damage to lacerate enemies plus 40%, 3000 length beam for strong attack, standard full screen, third lacerate on everything but her second strong attack. Her second strong attack is the Doodoo range 630 AoE second strong attack with barriers though, so at least she gets the barriers going for her. Some characters actually don't even have that, which is really bad. Debilitator plus 2 seconds. She does have frenzy, and she also has sprinter plus 1. I don't think that she has any innate skills. This is, yeah, the innate skills was before her time, so just keep that in mind. Overall, really good character. Do I think she's better than Lisa? Honestly, in terms of like scaling, I feel like you can use them quite interchangeably. I feel like Lisa actually has much more uses in terms of the Senzumaru, even outside of the link slot potion skill, just because this hard attribute Soul Reaper damage. Most of the characters that you use in IT ended up being Soul Reapers for the time that she was released, but since Ninny is now a thing, it's kind of really hard to gauge how useful how useful this skill is going to be, since you're going to want to use Ninny in literally almost all content in the game. Next on the list at number 8, we have Chojiro. He does have a 3000 length beam, standard full screen, 960, excellent kit, Havoc 20%, Berserker 20%, damage to paralyzed enemies plus 20%, along with devastation 40%. So you get a lot of damage multipliers on this character. Strong attack recharge. His only issue is that he is Captain Killer, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like for Captain Week and Guild Quest, he's excellent. Outside in just regular co-op, he's still really good. But I mean, like having a bad killer nowadays, honestly, in this day and age when characters are coming out with just crazy kits, it's just I don't want to say it's a no-no, but unless you have this character like I'd say like 2 out of 5, you're not really going to use this character all that much in my opinion. Next on the list, you do have Zengetsu. So number 7, Zengetsu. Honestly, I feel like he could have been a bit higher, just because he's literally Mugetsu 2.0. He has the heart attribute Soul Reaper strong attack damage plus 20%. That means that he's going to buff himself as well as Eisen. Strong attack recharge minus 12 is his soul trait. Berserker 20%, no havoc unfortunately. Damage to weaken enemies plus 20%. Devastation 40%. So when you use your special, you're actually getting even more multipliers on top of the devastation and on top of the weakening. Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Frenzy plus 1, and Sprinter plus 2. Now he does have an Arankar killer instead of 2 killers like Mugetsu, 100% chance to hit dodging Arankars. That could be relatively useful, and he also has a fire and freeze immunity. Now this character has a standard lunge for strong attack, an 800 AoE second, and his third strong attack is a standard full screen. The way he differentiates himself from Mugetsu though is that 1, he does have the sprinter plus 2, he loses the recovered 20% stamina as opposed to getting just more damage, right? Hard attribute Soul Reaper strong attack damage, Berserker 20%, damage to weaken enemies plus 20%. This Zengetsu just hits incredibly hard. And yeah, also on top of that, if you compare him to Mugetsu has Hollow Killer and No Affiliation Killer, but Zengetsu has a Rankar, and his animations are a lot faster. What that means is that when you use a strong attack, the damage numbers come out quicker. You don't have to worry about the enemies dodging. And I'm not talking about dodge rate plus like 80% crap. I'm talking about if the enemy starts trying to attack you, Mugetsu stalls a little bit when it comes to using his third strong attack. That could end up leading to the enemies getting out of range, which that, in my opinion, sucks. Next on the list, we do have Bankai Shuhei, number 5. Is it number 5? No, number 6 on the list, Bankai Shuhei. Now, I think it's kind of obvious that a bunch of NAD characters that got up above him. Personally, I guess I do see it. He is one of the best nukes in Guild Quest, especially with his debuff as well as in epic raids. Weakening on everything, debuff minus 80% defense on his special move. Debilitator plus 5 seconds, devastation 40%, Berserker 20%, Havoc 20%. He also has nullify melee resistance, so he is going to be useful in content like extreme co-op. We also have an Arankar killer and Sprinter plus 1. I don't believe he got innate skills. I think that was before his time as well. Yep, this is before his time. And yeah, I mean, overall, Shuhei is just an excellent character. Now, keep in mind, this is not saying that he's bad. This is literally the top 10 cream of the crop. You know what I'm saying? These are the best of the best, right? So next on the list, we do have Grimmjow. The reason that he actually got placed below Tokinada, I feel like is just harder content in this game is making it less likely that you'll want to auto with a melee NAD unit. I feel like melee NAD units are slowly becoming more outdated as content becomes harder. So the more an enemy can deal significantly more damage, the higher the likelihood that you will get 2-shot, 3-shot. So ranged NAD characters are actually, in my opinion, gaining a lot more relevancy and more flexibility. Bruiser 40%, damage reduction 20%, guard break, hit an enemy chance 100%. The guard break, hit an enemy chance, I think, is really what puts him over the top most of the time. Poise and sprinter +1. He has a lunge for strong attack, a second strong attack is also a lunge, and then his third strong attack, I believe, is a standard. Oh no, his third strong attack is the pull in. Okay, so standard lunge for strong attack, 625 standard lunge. It's the standard second strong attack lunge, second strong attack, and then his third strong attack is gonna be the same as 5th anniversary Byakuya, where it's gonna be a vacuum that literally pulls the enemies in and then explodes. Honestly, this is a very, very good skill to, a very good strong attack to have on a melee NAD character. This will put the enemies on the ground, and then it will allow him to just continue with his normal attack damage string without having to worry too much about the enemies prepping a strong attack. So my only issue with this character, honestly, in this day and age, is you're going to use him to auto almost all content in the game, as long as the enemies can't really 2-shot or 3-shot him. I don't see this Grimmjow really being used in Inheritance Trial, for example, to auto Inheritance Trial, unless this character is at least 3 out of 5 and you have the stamina slot or something like that. If you have him 5/5, obviously he's going to perform a lot differently than a 1 of 5, but for this list, we're trying to play with mainly just 1 of 5 characters, minimum like T15. I don't think T15 is all that difficult, but T15 unlocks a lot for a character. Like, this character could end up pulling Last Ditch Survival, help him with survivability. Shuhei will get like full stamina damage, deal more damage, right? Characters like Rookia can get a hold of long stride to go along with the sprinter +2. So there's a lot of flexibility that you can get with the T15. We didn't want to do T20 because I feel like T20 is a little too unrealistic for the vast majority of players. All right, next on the list, we do have Tokinada. Now, Tokinada is an excellent character. He was slightly outvoted by Masaki by like 20%, which is actually kind of high. But he does have a bruiser of 45%, transform mechanic, which can refresh all of his skills, which is honestly not bad for a NAD character that has a boost built into his second strong attack. Being able to refresh his second strong attack means that you can consistently have his boost up for an entire minute before it falls off. That is actually really, really good for content like Inheritance Trial, where if you're manually playing the game, having that up for an entire minute could be the entire run if it means that you're boosting ninnies, if it means you're boosting Eisens, etc., right? So flurry, guard break, paralysis immunity, enhancer +10 seconds, bruiser 20%, berserker 50%, and sprinter +1. He does gain an enhanced mag on his transformation. His transformation gives him an extra 100 to 120. So for the first 3 normal attack damage hits in his NAD string, he actually gets a 20% increase, but for his last NAD hit, if you're able to pull this off, which obviously you might have to dodge every now and then, but his last NAD hit will actually get an increase of 25%, which that can be a big damage difference, right? Next on the list, the person who outvoted him, Masaki. Now, Masaki is an excellent character. Third on the list, no affiliation killer, which is good or bad depending on the content that you're trying to do. But she has a normal attack damage link of 20%, but an overall bruiser of 80% when you put this together. 80% bruiser with a boost mechanic on the character is insane. She has enhancer +10 seconds, flurry, guard break, hit an enemy chance +100%, poise, and sprinter +1. She's also a ranged NAD character with very good normal attack damage string. Her first strong attack is the 18% magnification for strong attack, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong. Yeah, 18% magnification for strong attack. Kind of donkey water, but I mean, trying to put the enemy down just so that way you can continue using your NAD string is really good. 800 AoE distance second strong attack with the boost built in and barriers is really clutch. And then on top of that, you have a standard full screen third strong attack. The fact that this girl gives herself 3 barriers is really nice, because she also has poise. So if you're using her in content like Senkaimon, you're able to push the enemy back with the first strong attack, try to line up a guard break so that way you can properly dodge soul bombs very easily, and you have your boost available to you, which means that she's going to be dealing significantly more damage. This character, she also has a freeze immunity. Yeah, and for her innate skills, she also has freeze immunity. So overall, very, very, very good character. I love this character. She's insane, and there was a reason why she was dominating Arena for the first, like, what, 3 weeks of her of Arena's debut. Next on the list for number 2, we do have Ninny. Now this is honestly kind of like interesting, because if you don't value the super link stop potion skill, she's still an excellent character. I see a lot of people who are like, oh, but she's like Lisa. No, she's not. Take away the super link stop potion +5, take away the mind link stop potion +5, and what do you have left? You have a character with hit enemy chance 100%. You have a character with debilitator +5 seconds, strong attack recharge -14% as her soul trait, 2 killers, Soul Reaper and no affiliation, Soul Reaper being one of the strongest killers in the game, frenzy +2, which is the equivalent of pretty much a berserker 50% if she was naked, but she's not. Like, the fact of the matter is say you have how much is, like, what, 16% strong attack. Let's say we're using full hybrid links, right? 16% plus 20% plus let's just say 25%. Let's just assume a 61% bruiser from hybrid links alone. If we compare the damage between her and Lisa, it's not really that comparable. Like, it's actually quite stupid if you think about it. Now let's just assume that you're not we're not doing status elements with this character because she doesn't have disabler, right? So let's just take the damage from boom boom. So Lisa, let's say that she has a berserker of what, 20%. Okay, cool. So let's do times 2 for frenzy, multiply the 1.2 for the berserker, actually the 1.81 for the berserker. Let's just assume Senkaizen's not a thing. We'll add the full stamina damage boost plus 25% from T15, right? And then let's times 1.2 for the actual damage of how do I put it? This will be the actual damage, assuming that she has status elements. Let's inflict the status elements. Why not, right? So 543. Now let's actually pull up Ninny and pay attention to her multipliers, because her multipliers are going to go actually pretty donkey water. Oh, I see donkey water. She's going to clout Lisa. Look at this. So 100 times 3 for the frenzy, right? Because you're actually doing 3 hits instead of 1. Now you're going to multiply the 1.61, and now you're already at 483. Okay, now you're going to want to do times 1.61, no, excuse me, 1.25 for the full stamina damage boost, and we already have more damage than Lisa with her full stamina, excuse me, with her 20% extra damage. Not to mention that Ninny also has Enervator, that she also has Disabler, and the fact that she has Enervator means that she doesn't need Killer in order to actually proc her status elements. She will naturally proc Weakening every now and then on just straight up the enemies. And what is Weakening? 1.5 extra damage, right? So, like, there alone you'll see that her damage against Lisa is literally incomparable. Just the raw damage alone at 603 is already, this is without status ailment damage on Ninny, by the way. Meanwhile, Lisa needs to proc a status element, and it's only against the enemy that's that is inflicted by a status element. So just keep that in mind. So the 603 versus 543, 603 divided by 543. So she deals 11% more damage than Lisa as raw damage, and that's assuming that Lisa also gets that 20% strong attack damage buff from dealing a status element. That's insane. Okay, so even without the super link stop potions, Ninny is superior. She's really freaking good. On top of that, she also was able to get Sprinter +2. She also has Guard Break, and then she also has the Enervator. And the Mind link stop potions +5 and Super Mind link stop potions, not even taking that into account, she's number 2. But if you take that into account, I do want to argue that she, in my opinion, is more valuable than Eisen. Stronger than Eisen? No, not in my opinion. But better than Eisen in terms of value, you'll use her where? Well, where are you using Eisen over Ninny? Not in Inheritance Trial, not Epic Raids, not Inheritance Zone. There's literally no place, there's almost no place that you'd use her over Eisen in a lot of content in the game. Now, going into number 1 spot, still the strongest character in the game, in my opinion, Eisen. Eisen has a superior beam with more width. He has a standard full screen strong attack with drain on his strong attacks as well. He has the frenzy +2, and his second strong attack is literally the 960 AoE with the homing vortex, with the homing vortex built into it. So a lot of hits, 75 hits on the vortex. That's so stupid. But keep in mind, she does have a crawling vortex, so this second strong attack it does hold her back quite a bit. But if you're trying to compare her to just like the best character in the game, she doesn't stack up. You'll use her more than this Eisen, in my opinion, at 1.5 T. Like, remember that we're trying to calculate this at 1.5 T15. Obviously, Eisen's going to be a lot more available. He's a premium pool character also, so getting him with multiple copies is going to be a lot easier in the long run. He has Weakening, he has Drain, he has a Strong Attack Recharge as his link, Soul Reaper, and Captain Killer. So the Captain Killer, kind of a throwaway ability until you do start doing guild quests, where that Soul Reaper Captain Killer is insane with that that Vortex in particular. For range Soul Reaper week, having three characters with the homing Vortex is so dumb. Like Eisen, Kisuke, and Byakuya, looks so dumb. But the thing is, Eisen, instead of having a Berserker 20% like a lot of these characters, he has damage inflicted at full stamina plus 20%, right? So damage inflicted at full stamina plus 20% along with the Frenzy plus 2. Ninny doesn't have that. Ninny doesn't have a Berserker, she doesn't have a full stamina damage boost. He straight up just deals significantly more damage. He has hit-hit enemy chance built into him as well as Sharpshooter, whereas Ninny has hit-hit enemy chance and Guard Break. Sprinter plus 1, Havoc 20%, and then Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Frenzy plus 2. Let's calculate his damage, because I think that that's going to be kind of relevant too. So 100 times 3 for the Frenzy plus 2, times 1.61 for the Berserker, times 1.45 for the damage inflicted at full stam, if you want to go full stam plus 25%, right? And then here you actually have 700, whereas Ninny deals 600. So you see here that the damage difference is quite large. So where Ninny deals 11% more damage than the Lisa, Eisen deals 16% more damage than the Ninny with his first and third strong attack, but his second strong attack go burr, and his first strong attack also has a bigger whiff. That is why this Eisen is just king. Like, he is so insane. And then on top of that, he has Weakening and Drain, right? So if the enemies are immune to Weakening, you still have the Drain mechanic to fall back on. He heals himself, dodge Soul Reaper damage plus 50%, and paralysis immunity. He also has an immunity. That's really good. So overall, Eisen, best character in the game. I don't think that anyone can really argue against that. I do think that if you want to calculate in the mind Linkstop potions, you can put these two characters on par with each other. I never want to put Eisen under Ninny, just because he's so overwhelmingly powerful compared to like everybody else in the game, and that's including like Art Book Ichigo, like that's including almost everyone in the game, including Noelle. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Eisen, absolutely insane. And of course, the final character, tier 0 character, the best character in the entire game, and that's my boy Kon. There's nothing that beats Kon. He has adrenaline 30%, long strides, so he flies across the battlefield, and in this day and age when everyone's just one-shotting everything anyways, you know, Kon excels at what he does. He's the best.